picked a good meeting. It's gonna be short.
I saw the agenda and I told her this is gonna be.
Oh, hello.
Is the sound on?
Okay.
Oh, got it figured out. They gave us new mics. I don't know if.
Oh, is that new?
He even has the, your padding on there now.
Paid for them.
Little.
Okay. Let's call to order this Pleasantview City Council regular meeting of November 12th, 2024 at 6:03. Welcome, everyone. We have special guests here. Special to me, at least. We'll start with the introduction, pledge of allegiance, opening prayer reading, or expression of thought by Councilmember Ann Arrington.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we're thankful to gather together tonight as a city council and administration that we could discuss the concerns of our city. We're thankful to live in such a great place and a beautiful place. We're grateful to be celebrating our veterans time and for the lovely display of patriotism at our city offices and in the canyon. And we're grateful for those who have given their lives and who also volunteer and bless our families and our freedoms. And we're grateful to be serving on the city council this time and pray that we'll be able to make good decisions tonight. It will be insightful of how that affects the people in the community. And we are thankful for the moisture that we're receiving and grateful for the neighborly love and care that we receive in this community. And say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. This is Addison Scoville. She's on our Youth City Council. Welcome, Addison. She also happens to be my granddaughter and her father, Kyle. Oh, well, we'll get that. 1C would be if she wants to say anything. Item 1B is declaration of conflict of interest. Have you had a chance to review the agenda? Are there any conflicts to declare?
None.
Okay, seeing none, we'll move to 1C, public comments or questions for the mayor and council, limited to 3 minutes. Does there any member of the public wish to address us? Okay. I'm guessing not.
Just kidding.
Okay, item 2 is consent, the minutes of October 29th, 2024, and the bills of Pleasantview City. Any questions or concerns?
On the other business, I put, struggling with stats is maintaining the stats.
Okay. Anything else? I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent items with the adjustment that Lori has suggested.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion by Arrington, second by Marriott. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 3, dissolve the K-9 program. Consideration to discuss the K-9 program and retire K-9 officer Kai Stetson.
All right, so we have a K-9 program right now. It's going well. It's been a good program. We have our dogs done really well. We have a good handler, so I don't want any confusion on that. It is good. However, we've kind of entered a time where we're low on staff. The applicants that we are getting are younger, doing most of our recruiting at the academy. Out of the academy, we're down 3. The K-9's getting towards the end of his career. It's getting harder for scheduling and that to have, because they have to go to 8 hours a week of training. So for scheduling reasons, stuff, it's getting harder to manage that program. We opened up our detective spot because our detective left. Officer Benson put in, he's gonna come into the investigations bureau with us, and, we just feel like nobody else really ready to take on the dog. He's towards the end of his career. I don't think it's fair to the animal to send him to a new handler. Um, Right there towards the tail end of his career, he kind of becomes part of their family for the last 6 years. So I want to propose that we dissolve the K-9 program for now, and, let, Officer Kai retire at his home with his family.
Questions?
How, I mean, he was the dog was a big part of, investigations up at Weaver High and the school and looking at things. So how will that affect the police department
So,
with not having that, and?
yeah, so we'll still have access to K-9s in the county. They have they have several K-9s in the county. We can call them on their training days and they come up. That's how we did it anyways. It wasn't really necessarily through our own dog that they came up. We would contact their, their group, their little task force that they had, and they would bring all the K-9s up when they did our searches. As far as on patrol, yeah, he would go to training for 8 hours a week, and then the other 32 hours a week he was on patrol. But it was just, we seen less and less of the opportunity to deploy him. And it's a pretty heavy expense to have a K-9 on.
Yeah, it'd be around 20,000 a year.
Yeah, it's a little over $20,000 a year to.
Is that because
to
of
run a
training
K-9.
and
That
things like
includes
that?
his training and all that, and food and vet bills and stuff like that, so. It's getting harder to justify spending that much money to have a K-9, and not at the fault of the handler or and it's just having less opportunities to deploy him.
So
Um,
Stetson, with the, I guess, interlocal agreements with other law enforcement agencies in the county, so does that give us full access to basically request?
Yeah, it would be just about how it is. If you stop a car that you want to run a dog around, you just ask dispatch if there's a K-9 on in the county and they'll send them out to run it.
You have to wait very long.
Well, you can't wait longer than like the scope of the stop. There's,
Right.
what's that?
I said, right.
Yeah,
So-
and so, if they're close enough, then they'll come, but I just.
Done anyway if the K-9 officer hasn't been on, because he's
Yeah.
only on 32 hours
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the week.
Yep.
Right, it's training, but, and
Yeah.
so if we need a K-9, we have to reach out anyway.
Same thing for like locker checks and things like backpack checks and things like that.
Oh,
at the
yeah,
high
they
school.
won't change any of that at all.
Yeah, and you'll have access to things,
Yep.
because you do that with the sheriff's department anyway.
Yep, yeah, we get ahold of their task force, and Brady's become, really good friends with all those guys, and I'm sure we can reach out to them at any time and have a K-9 up here.
The handler officer does he go to the training too with the
Yep.
dog? So
Yep.
we get, an officer in 8 hours of training with the dog.
Yeah, and so that's kind of where we're, where we're at, is he has to go to 8 hours of training. So we gotta not only cover that, but we gotta fill his shift when he's gone to training, and then pay him if he, it's just, it's a lot of expense, and, I'm just not seeing that we're getting a lot out of it right
A lot of
now. Not at
return.
his fault, just because of the opportunities he's given.
Brady's been his husband and our
Yep.
canine.
Do we need to make a
handler
motion?
for a long time.
Yeah.
So we appreciate your direction on this too and input for that.
Yeah,
Right
I do want to make sure we're not getting shorted anywhere, right? I mean, we were just, because I think it's a good thing, but all the cities are working together. Is there more of the county that's supplying the dogs normally, or is it?
That's supplying them.
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
how many dogs are there in the county that are officers?
I don't know that off the top of my head. I think Weaver County has 2 or 3, and, Riverdale might have 1 or 2, and I think there's probably 6 or 8 countywide.
Countywide.
So you do it with the county, not necessarily another police department like.
So whoever
Norfolk.
has one on will.
So whoever has
have
one
this-
on would respond, and then, like, if we wanted to have a locker check or something,
Mhm.
we would just get a hold of, whatever dog is on and have them come out. So, and what we've done in the past as far as the searches is, we'll get a hold of them, say, hey, what day's your training? We'll coordinate that week high, and then they'll bring the whole, that'll be their training day, is they'll all come up and go through the school.
So one more question too, as far as the canine went historically, I mean, it sounds like they were only on duty, like, what, 8 to 5 or something? Did you feel like your need for a canine was during the day, or did you have needs more at night when you did, pullovers at the night or whatever? Like, I'm just curious, like, were there times you're like, well, this would be a better time for the canine and we don't even have them on duty?
Yeah, so I kind of, and I don't know, I can't speak for other cities. I think everywhere's different. Pleasant View, we kind of see it all different times. Like we'll let guys work DUI shifts and that during the day too, because we get as much, statistically, we get as many of that kind of stuff during the day as we do at night out here.
Okay.
And so I didn't feel like there was a certain time of day that he would have been better utilized. He's been on swing shifts, it's kind of half-day shift into the night. But I don't feel like there was a specific time frame that we seen more opportunity to deploy in the night times.
Okay. If there's no further questions, I'd entertain a motion.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we, dissolve the canine program in Pleasant View and retire the canine officer as per, Chief Talbot.
I'll second the motion.
Give our thanks. Make sure, yeah, that Benson.
So
Sarah
that's-
never did
is
get to
taking
be
that on,
the-
that's been a big thing, so.
I did sort of, but not really. So does Kai go home with Brady then?
Yeah, that's what I was recommending, is that he retired to his home. Brady's had him since he was a little pup and raised him and trained him, and he's become a
That's great.
very important part of his family, and I think that's what him and the dog probably deserve.
Could the animal be recalled at any time if we ever needed to, or how would that
You'd
work?
probably have
No,
to be
because it's
recertified.
Certified and
Yeah.
staying up on his training, we're not still gonna pay him to go to training,
Right, yeah,
so.
okay.
Okay, motion by Gibson, second by Mary. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 4 is moderate income housing. This is just a quick one. What we want to kind of let you go. No, we're going to be working on redoing our general plan next year. And this obviously has to be discussed and thought about. And so
And if-
I would
sorry.
I'd encourage you to find out as much as you can about what the state's doing, what, do your homework so that as we get into the general plan, we know how we want to craft it, what we can't do, keep our city Pleasant View. So, Jamie, you had something?
So, yeah, we were very pleased and excited to learn, recently that we did get our housing report for the last year approved, which is a very stressful thing. And talking with our friends from other cities, initially the compliance rate was about 50% this year. So felt really good about that.
Overall?
Initially, yeah, most of them, if not all, will cure it, but that's from the first review. And so with that, obviously, we want to make sure to keep our general plan up to date, but there were some findings, and again, we were approved, but just asking for us to update certain sections of that to have more timely and prevalent goals. And so that's something we'll do as part of the general plan update that the mayor described. And I think it's a really good opportunity to be able to look at that, kind of that question that I raised before, where do we want certain densities of housing? How do we consider that? We have been working with planning staff on updating our general plan, and it's kind of that designation of the densities. And that was at the council's request, just allowing for additional types of densities, because there were these areas where it was just really, really broad.
So I was gonna say, we've been doing these updates here, updates there and upstairs, so that's why I think we need to kind of take a step back and, it's good, we gotta keep them up to date, but to kind of
We need to do
rework
a
it, we need to get some, citizen involvement, have some groups that we can, who wants to be on transportation, who wants to be on housing, so on and so forth.
And have an open house?
Yeah, and then have,
Probably a couple of.
so, but that'll be coming next year, so.
No, I
Just-
would agree, it needs to have a comprehensive
Yeah.
overhaul instead of just little bits and.
Pay attention what's going on with modern housing, just so that you can come into it eyes wide open, you know, so
Mayor,
it's as simple as that.
will accessory dwelling units and that kind of discussion be going on with that, I'm assuming? That's
Absolutely.
something we needed.
Yep.
It's already slated to come in this next legislative session as well, detached accessory
Yeah.
building.
And that is one of our specific goals right now
Oh,
too.
Yeah,
And
I want to start early, you know, January or February, but not finish till the legislature is done. This list, such, but,
But
I-
that part is.
yeah.
So really, you're saying the general plan would be after the legislative session?
Yeah, I think I want to start on it and get these, the citizen involvement and stuff, but I'd really hate to finalize it until we see what they're gonna do.
It's kind of it's a big process.
It
It's not
is.
just a.
Oh, I know, it's
but
gonna take
yeah.
a few months, so just so you know, that's kind of, you know, that's an important part, because, you know, they're talking about addressing 80 and not only attached, but detached.
mhm,
Let's
and
talk
even
about
like
that.
subdivided detached, I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
different conversations
Just a lot of
going on.
weird things, and hopefully, some of the, you know, we've met with our legislators, and they all want to take hey, let's cool it for a little while, you know, but they're only, yeah, the whole group, so, you know. I like their approach and say, hey, we need to, there's other things in this state we need to fix besides just houses. So, great approach, so we'll see how successful they are. Hopefully, they got pretty good influence, so I'm hopeful. Okay, item 5 is other business. Yeah, let's just go real quick. You have anything before we go into a closed meeting real quick? But- Okay.
I do have a couple of items. So the first is exciting news from WACOG. I had forwarded over an email. We put in 2 applications for possible funding for 2026. And just as a heads up, this is a 10% match with the applications that has not yet been programmed. So the receipt of these would be contingent on some budgetary items. But one is for Alberta Drive for an expansion, including bike lane proximity, and this for right-of-way acquisition, 965,000. And then for Skyline Drive.
Again, that's just for the right-of-way
Mhm.
acquisition. Okay.
For Skyline Drive and the rail crossing project, and actually helping with the completion of the rail crossing, 2,052,000. So both
Again,
for
that's right-of-way
2026,
acquisition.
but exciting to get those funds in play. That's all we requested for, and they gave us all of it. So,
From basically the roundabout to city line, is that kind of what we're talking, Alberta?
Yeah, to meet North Arden, yeah.
North Arden line?
just to have it consistent with. And then,
That'll be a multi-year project, but we
Oh, both.
gotta get started, and it's gonna take.
2026 is when we can begin right-of-way acquisition. And then I also just on the list, and I'd sent an email a while back, but on ramp, I did go to the training. We do have a lot of projects underway right now, and so it would be staff's recommendation to look at some easy ramp grants this year, but probably not any major or regular sized projects. So I don't know if there's any ideas for these.
That I mentioned as far as lighting, you know, for Barker Park and Field and stuff, only if we could find a match, and we had expressed interest in that. That was it. That was the only one.
And I can
That would
follow up with
be-
Tyson on that.
That would be major. Tyson would send it over because he had looked into it a couple of years ago. It's more expensive now, but that's the only one that, because that could be utilized for Founder's Day, for, especially since some of the park at, you know, Peak Park is being, you know, reduced, allow the city to expand her program and have that go into the evening over here.
Okay, is that it?
Yes, thank you.
Marty?
Can we do any, maintenance on like our paths with ramp at all?
On what?
Like the walking path?
Upgraded or what?
Several of them were,
Did we use it initially to
yeah,
get the walking path?
they were all ramp.
Maintenance, no, only if it's something new about.
Like we could add lights to it.
I don't know if we need that lights, but
So,
just,
so if there's
the,
something new,
the path itself in some areas is deteriorating a
Yeah.
little bit.
they'll let you repave parking lots, and so that's worth
I mean,
looking
I mean,
into,
could we,
seeing if they
could we
can repave.
repave?
Oh,
I,
yes.
Yeah.
I would love to see if we could have something, you know, the
Real quick,
north
oh,
end of Pleasant View drive to the roundabout is the oldest section.
Mhm.
And, either that or get, Public Works to do some more, crack seal, because
Yeah.
it's just, I'd hate for it to just go into gravel, like some of our roads are.
No, I'm happy to explore both of those. Thank you.
Yeah, just a quick update. CERT, met tonight. Cindy and, Amy have done a lot of work on that. And Cindy's leading point, she had a good meeting tonight just to discuss what CERT is, what it isn't, set down some new parameters, and I was thrilled with it. I think that everyone else is excited about the new direction, so that was really cool. And then second thing is just, as you can see at the Pleasant View Park, things are moving, baby.
I was gonna say, it's gonna pick them off.
Yeah, looks good. Yeah, yep. So,
2027?
Steve, I'm gonna come down there and beat you.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
Everybody, looks like they've filled in quite a bit already. It's filling on
Sarah,
me. You know, we're not going to meet again before our meeting in November. I don't think-
Yeah, we have 26, I think.
Okay, so then, no, there's.
We gotta
But-
certify the election. That's.
we didn't have,
We don't have.
we don't have any candidates or anything. So 26, but we've gone 4th. I was gonna ask. but
Okay,
there's-
well, no, no, nothing really,
Okay,
nothing. I'll just bring it up at that meeting. So.
Dave?
No, I don't have anything.
Steve?
I want to back up my opinion a little bit on our garbage trucks and the severity of which they treat our cans. I have witnessed the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've been home late, just on Wednesdays, I don't know why, but I've seen them come up and down the street and they just whip those things. And I can see why they're having such problems. Again, on today on the Pleasant View City page, guy had, his lids are being ripped off. I don't know, I think we need to revisit that again, or we are going to have a catastrophic failure of cans. I don't know what there is to do there, and I would like to look, see what cans if they provided them, what cans that are different design to
Right.
fit on their truck.
Or even a different manufacturer of the
Is it a blue
plastic.
So like, is it a compatibility issue? Cause
Yeah.
we've got old cans, new
Yeah,
truck.
because we've always said, but I mean, they are just whipped and whipped back. And it just, my lid just, I think, oh, hold on, stop that. I hadn't really seen it personally.
Yeah.
I have.
Okay, that's fine, but I think,
They've done it to mine.
but it is, we are going to have every
Reach
one of
out
the cans
to-
broken.
Yeah, I'm happy to reach out with them.
So-
Part of what they've corrected is the design of our cans are a little bit top heavy. And so it makes them kind of land faster, but
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, it is, as it goes up, and it just, it whips that lid
Yeah.
with ferocity. I didn't really realize it. I'd seen it happen, but I hadn't just been out there and watched it personally. So I apologize for
Yeah.
my
Oh, yeah.
They can,
conversation before, thinking it wasn't necessarily a problem. But I do think it is going to be a problem, especially as it gets cold, as that
Mhm.
plastic's cold. And our cans are old, I get that. They're older. Mine's 29 years old or whatever it is. I mean, it's,
I'd be curious to know, like, are the newer cans being damaged too?
yeah.
Like, that's,
Except
So-
the ones, the darker blue ones that say Econo-Waste on them, those look a lot.
Well,
better
I would
quality.
I would like to request
They're
from
better
you,
ones.
Mayor, and maybe going to you, just to reevaluate to see what, if they were to have provided the can, what that can would have looked like and how it would have been different design to stand the abuse that has been given. Because it needs, we are going to have a bigger problem that I really wasn't aware of, or that I didn't want to acknowledge maybe, or something like that, so.
to go along with what, the comment that was made on social media was, yeah, just Band-Aid the can.
Yeah, jerry rig it.
Jerry, get rid of it, fix it all up, because you're gonna have to go pay the city for a new can.
They're just,
And-
it's a extra cost.
Still a constant
I think-
discussion
well,
about, should the city be replacing them?
Yeah.
Well, I think that we need to go back and revisit that, and we ought to include that in the price of the can, replenishment of those and replacing them, because everybody's mad and ticked off about it when they have to pay for
Well,
it. But
if it's gonna be the same,
if it's
Find
50
out how
cents,
many
if it's
new
50
can-
cents
how
a month
many
in their
of those
can.
We do eat a week, a month.
The new
How many new
cans.
cans that people are paying for?
So-
Not new service.
Yeah, but the new cans, I would definitely say it's gone up with the new service, but we did know going into it that they'd mentioned compatibility challenges with
so.
their
if-
equipment and our.
well,
And they're-
Mayor, my request would be, and I don't wanna, this is not a big discussion I wanna have. I would just like to have something brought back to us
Yeah.
Maybe have them
Let's
bring a
talk
can
about it
up.
with Tyson.
and have us look at it. I wanna see it. I wanna see what their version of a can that can handle their machine, what it would look like, what that would
Isn't
cost.
that what we're using for replacements? Oh, theirs?
No, because
We're
we
still
didn't,
doing the old.
that was an increase in
Manufacturer.
cost, so we moved away from that, but
But
I
I
think,
thought we were gonna go with the same manufacturer though.
no,
Let's, all right.
Anyway,
Mayor,
just-
no,
I would just like to have a little
Talk
more
with Tyson.
information and have that brought up again at some point, Mayor. I apologize,
Okay.
I don't wanna go deep.
no, and
right.
I think we can assess other cities too to see which ones use their cans and don't, and that's working for them. Happy
good
to do
idea.
that.
Kyle, you had a comment?
Yeah, I can recognize, with running up as actually the resident, but he's over
North Ogden.
the hands of North Ogden has been for about 10 years. And North Ogden is also with, like, we have them for, I think, 4 years now. And he just recently, in the last year, switched. And so anyway, I recommend talking to Brian.
I'll call him.
He has a really good idea of.
Brian out Republic or?
No,
Brian-
Brian Galvez.
He's my neighbor,
He works, yeah.
Okay,
Lives,
number.
lives between the Scovilles and the Arrington.
yeah.
Yeah, it's above you. right?
Are they different than what we have?
Yeah. Well, so currently there's 3 different cans available in North Ogden. We did just switch.
Good, better, best, or?
Well,
Hmm.
depending on how long you've had it. let's put
Okay.
it that way. But yes, they did just switch the kind of cans they're getting as of, I think this year actually. But anyway, to answer your question.
Mayor, can I ask him a question?
Sure.
So how does North Ogden do that? What is their policy on can replacement and
City doesn't pay for it, residents.
residents pay for the
it.
can?
Yep, and now the city does, I know Brian, in particular, and his team, advocate for it, will go repair them, but it's rare that there's something that's unrepairable.
Hmm.
You know, usually the issue most common is the bill or the lid, but I've seen what you're talking about though on social media.
The
too, where-
cracks down.
Yeah,
the
and it's down the back, down the base, but to be honest though, I'm kind of surprised myself because I've had my can now for 16 years, 15 years. And I see them all the time, man, and I haven't had any problems, so it may be worth looking into, it might be a particular driver.
The operator?
It very
Yeah.
well could be.
They're exceeding their life.
Yeah.
There's a
Well,
lot of them that are way out.
The old, our old supplier
both,
would
it's
go up and it would come back down slowly. This one is up and it's violently covered over. So if it is the driver,
The driver can do it better.
then we've got to address that or we are going to have a problem. So, Mayor, again, I'd like to put that to staff to look at a couple of those things. And I apologize that
Often.
Yeah. Well, there were some routes missed last week, so we addressed that one.
Okay, any other business?
Can I just ask him one more question?
Sure.
Talking about cans. They get the cans from Republic or do they get them from a private supplier in their funding?
We get them from a different supplier.
Okay.
We just changed, we used to get them from Brigham City,
Do you know the name of the
Tremont.
company?
Oh, you used to go
yeah.
through Ogden. didn't you?
Okay.
Now.
I just want to see if it's the same one that I did research with.
We're now
Tyson.
getting them from state, actually.
If you'll get that. to me,
We can
so I
reach out to Brian Galvin.
I'm curious, yeah.
Okay. All right, we do need a closed meeting. Item 6 is a closed meeting, for discussion of character, competence of an individual. So get a motion for that.
Mayor, I'll move that we
Thanks,
have a
Tony.
closed meeting based on those, whatever they are.
Character and competence.
Character.
Do I have a Second. Okay, motion by Marriott, second by Arrington. Roll call vote. Arrington. Gary. All right,
Yes.
Gibson?
Yes.
Okay, all four. Aye. We're gonna go and we're gonna leave you guys. Thank you so very much for coming.
Yeah, go get a soda. You're gonna give us a report on Thursday, right? All of, entire